leading to the August 2022 general election, I've been compelled to release the above document in order to answer in part some of the criticism that has been leveled against me, to wit, and I quote, the indecisive kingmaker, end of quote, and the often quoted statement made before the NTV reporter, I believe that's my son Kennedy, to the effect that I would be a fool to support Honorable Raila Odinga a third time without a measure of reciprocity. In releasing this document, it is imperative to mention that I've tried to have Professor Makau Mutua convene a meeting between me and my brother, Honorable Raila Odinga, in his capacity as the depository of this most important document. On his part, Professor Makau stands in breach of his obligation under the agreement, since he has already joined Honorable Raila Odinga's campaign team. By accepting nomination of the Orange Democratic Movement to run as president for the 5th time, I believe my brother Raila Odinga has committed an irreparable material breach of this agreement. Now that's a legal term, defined, I quote, irreparable material breach shall mean a repudiation, reneging, a violation, or an ouster in any way of any of the articles of the agreement. Attending the ODM Delegates Conference, at which my brother was named a presidential flag bearer, would have meant on my part acquiescence of the impugned breach. I wish therefore to state as follows. My brother has the option of abiding by the terms of this live legal agreement, live binding legal agreement, and thereby emerging, in my view, as a true national, regional, and indeed continental democratic hero, or he has the option of choosing to act in utter defiance and repudiation of the agreement, and thereby compounding the trust deficit. In both cases, Honorable Raila Odinga remains a brother with whom I've labored in absolute good faith to bring true democratic change to our country. As already publicly expressed, I'm ready to work with him again under the three-pillar grand coalition government for the sake of our nation. I urge that we engage in fresh negotiations. I urge that as we engage in fresh negotiations, this document forms the basis of such negotiation. I want to give you just a copy, and actually spread. I'll distribute the copies of the agreement, but I just want to highlight one or two small paragraphs in it. It's actually entitled the NASA Deal. And by its nature, this document was a secret document. But it starts by saying this memorandum is a binding legal agreement between the parties. And the parties have been explained, and I've highlighted the paragraph which reads, the commitments made herein shall bind Principle H, read Raila, and Principle Q, read Kalonzo Musyoka, in both the 2017 and 2022 elections. By this agreement, the parties agree that Principle H will be NASA's presidential nominee, and that Principle Q will be his running mate. And then, most importantly, This agreement will remain valid until the 2022 elections, whether or not NASA wins the 2017 presidential elections. Please underline the words, whether or not we won the elections. And on the Articles of Agreement, I highlight Principle 2. Principle H agrees in a public MOU to serve one term and publicly endorse Principle Q as a presidential candidate for 2022. Therefore, gentlemen, ladies and gentlemen, if anybody has had any difficulty whatsoever with my sense of negotiation and my ability to play it straight and candidly, I hope today I've acquitted myself. I see the very nice headlines today in the media, that there's tension between me and my brother. I want to tell you there's none. And in effect, some of you say, I ask His Excellency President Uhuru Kenyatta to take leadership of the current round of negotiations. I think it's right and proper, considering he has a sense of authority, he's a sitting head of state, and whether some of you want to refer to him as an outgoing president, in my view, there are the presidents who have been outgone in our region and still hold great sway, not only in their countries, but in the countries of the African region. That is why somebody like President Obasanjo, my friend President Kikwete, who is actually in town, and others continue to be revered heads of state. I see President Uhuru Kenyatta playing that role into the future. But I want to urge that it plays even presently. So, ladies and gentlemen, this was my personal statement. As you can see, I don't even know where these Washmiwas have come from. Somebody must have sent a tweet or something, a hashtag personal statement, and then people felt, yeah, the true volcano is here. And indeed it is.